going on, guys? My name is Landon, and today, or actually tonight, really, it's tonight for me, but it'll be today for you. Either way, my predictions for the Gfinity Summer Championship Extravaganza. It's getting ready to go down, and I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions on it, what teams I think will do well, what teams I think will do bad. $100,000 prize pool, yeah, I think that might be like the highest ever prize pool for Call of Duty overseas. That could be wrong, I have no idea, but it could possibly be correct, so I'm going to roll with it. So I'm going to kind of lay out how the prize pool is working, if what plays, you know, with money and stuff. So if you come in first, you get $50,000. Coming in second, you receive $25,000. If you're in third, you get $10,000. Fourth, $5,000, and if you're in fifth through eighth, you all every one of those teams get $2,500. So pretty nice payout. $100,000 tournament is going to be absolutely insane. $50,000 for first place. That's split amongst 4 people, obviously. So going to be a great one. I'm really looking forward to this tournament coming up this weekend. So keep that in mind. It's this weekend. I know it's kind of snuck up on me as well. So I haven't like really been paying attention that much. So now I'm back in the zone. So, and by the way, before I even get started with the predictions of this video, I'm trying to get this out really quickly. I want to know, and I actually put this on Twitter the other day, I want to know what games do you guys want to see me play, because I'm not really playing Advanced Warfare. I know people don't really enjoy watching me play Call of Duty because I'm not pro status. I mean, I'm good at the game, but I'm not good enough, apparently. It just seems I'm just not good enough at the game. But still, let me know down in the comments, what games do you want to see me stream, play, anything. And if you guys are curious about my stream, you can click on the link down below. It has my stream. You can watch me. Occasionally I'll stream to play different games. Occasionally do casting 8s, which people seem to really enjoy. So I'm not trying to, like, you know, intervene in this video, but trying to kind of add a little excerpt. I don't know. But either way, let me know down in the comments, you guys, a game that you want to see someone play, in particular me. So let's go on and get into our predictions and the teams who will be in this tournament. So transition. So the teams that will be competing in this tournament, obviously there's 16 teams. I believe there's like a certain amount from the Pro League, at least the American MLG Pro League. There's a certain amount from the Gfinity Pro League, and another, I think it might be Pro Points. I'm not 100% sure, so I apologize. I should know this, but I don't. So I'm going to read off all the teams who will be competing this weekend. So starting off, it'll be FaZe, Elevate, Optic Gaming, Optic Nation, Team Vitality, Epsilon EU, not the NA team, Infused, Hyper Games, Rise Nation, TCM Gaming, Team Caliber, Envy, Liquid Gaming. This is not Liquid like Team Liquid, so yeah, there we go. IGI Esports, Spirit Gaming, and VWS. So now that you guys know all the teams who are competing, we're going to talk about which pool they were placed in. There'll be 4 pools, Group A, B, C, and D. 2 teams out of each pool will make it to the winner's bracket. The bottom 2 teams will make it down to the loser's bracket. Obviously, if you're a loser, it's single elimination. Last year, they actually had a pool, like a bracket inside of the pool. As far as I know, they're not doing it that way. They didn't really announce saying that they were, so I'm assuming it's regular style how it normally works. We'll just say it's safe to assume that, so I'm kind of like rolling off of that. So now let's go and talk about our first group, which is actually going to be Group A. So Group A is consisting of Optic Gaming, Hyper Games, Team Envy, and VWS Gaming. So I'm not super I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with Hyper Games or VWS. I know of Hyper Games. I believe they're a French team, I'm pretty sure, and I believe VWS is from the UK. I don't know like their full roster. I know they have like Realize and someone named like Nolson or something on their team. I'm not 100% sure, but still, I'm not too familiar with either of these squads. Optic Gaming off of a loss, actually, like I mentioned, coming in second. They're definitely out for blood and want to win that $50,000. Obviously, if you do come in first, you'll get that prize. So they're definitely wanting to get that one to kind of remain and go back on top. I'm not saying they're not already, but you know, you're kind of knocked down a little bit from that one in that tournament. Envy, I am so happy to see this envious roster play again. They didn't have the best finish at Dallas, but it wasn't the worst either. That roster is Looney, Aqua, JCap, and Octane. Aqua and Octane are 2 of the best young players that we have in the game. Not saying that they're the best, but they're 2 of the best in the game. Looney is an amazing slayer, and JCap can do work at a lot of times during the game. And also talking a little bit about Envy, we actually had Tasma, who's kind of like the manager for Team Envy on the sticks not too long ago. He's a really cool dude, and he said he's really excited to see how their team works and how their team does. So I think that Envy's going to have a very strong outcome in this pool, and honestly, I'm not going to be too specific with it. I think Optic Gaming will come out first in their group, and I think Envy will come in second. But I think this tournament could have a lot of surprises in it. But in this pool, I'm not thinking that we're going to see anything. So now for Group B, we are going to have FaZe Clan, Team Infused, Team Caliber, and Liquid Gaming. Starting off with FaZe. FaZe to me is probably my favorite lineup besides Optic Gaming. Like, if I were to look at these 2 rosters, regardless of their their placings, knowing or not even knowing their placings, just looking at their rosters as a whole, FaZe is one of my favorites. And I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you why. Glacier is one of the best battles, if not the best battle that we have in the entire game. Having a strong AR presence in any game type is so dominant and so You know, it's just so important to have in a game like AW. It's so important to have, and Glacier definitely fills that role. Obviously, he's a world champion. Zuma, one of the best players for right now in the game. He is looking top tier. Like, he is looking like the best player that we've had in AW this far. I'm not just saying that. He is so good in search and destroy. He's constantly dropping 40 and 50 bombs, at least at Dallas. Now, you know, I'm not going to judge a team off of one performance. I'm not a person who's like, oh, well, that team won the last event, so they're the best in the game. Right now, I think Odds Gaming is definitely still the best team in the game. FaZe is like the only team to me that really stands a chance against Odds Gaming in the Slang category on a consistent basis. You know, there's such a talented squad at you know, Slang in that category. You know, you like line them up together, and it's like, well, you know, Glacier could win that battle, or Attach could maybe, you know, edge out someone on the Optic Gaming roster as well, or any other team. I could really see them doing you know, a lot of work, and they're so good at search and destroy. You know, Glacier has going to have that battle. Enable could be the bomb carrier. You could also hang back. Zuma is going to be literally rushing like crazy. I think he has the highest first blood percentage in the entire game. Attach is one of the best snipers that we have in the entire game also. So it's like, you're worried about FaZe and the fact that if you don't beat them in the first hard point, they're going to come at you just as strong in the search and destroy. Attach is going to have you from long distance. You're going to be worried about Zuma constantly for all those rushes. So FaZe to me is such a good team coming into this tournament. I'm definitely looking at them. I know I've talked about FaZe for like 30 minutes now, but I'm a very, very big fan of this new FaZe roster. Infused, next team we have in this pool. I believe they recently made a change. I think Melon actually declared that he is no longer going to be competing. He's like retiring, I guess. And I think that Marky B is actually filling in for this team. So I believe it's like Quicker, LXT, Urban, and Marky B now. So a pretty good team. Marky B is definitely a veteran in the scene. Next team we have is actually Team Caliber. Now I had the you know, the great opportunity to actually have Nestle on the sticks not too long ago either. If you guys are confused about what the sticks is called, it's basically a podcast that we do, a competitive Call of Duty podcast where we have pros and a bunch of people around the scene come on and talk you know, about different stuff in the scene that's going on at certain times. The Pro League, we've been talking about Vulcan a lot recently, as you guys can imagine, so a lot of the topics that I have in my videos, we discuss fully on the sticks, and I'll leave a link in the description to the recent episode that we had with Nestle, which is really, really informative. But you know, he's very, very motivated coming into this tournament. You know, TK has not really had the placings or the you know, the time that they've really wanted to. Nestle, I believe he said he hasn't even placed in the top 4 or 5 at all in AW, so he's definitely hungry. This TK team is so hungry to do well at a tournament, and I think Gfinity might be the tournament where they actually place well, a tournament where they might be happy you know, with you know, their run at a tournament. So I think that TK is going to do well. Either way, I'm not really familiar with Liquid. If I was to choose a certain group to come out of this tournament, I definitely think FaZe is making it out. To me, it's going to be between Team Caliber and Infused. To be honest, I might give Infused the, you know, the upper hand since it's an event near them, which I think I might do that, but I'm actually going to say TK makes it out of this group. I think that TK is insanely motivated, and after, you know, being with Nestle and talking about him with his team, he feels insanely confident. So I'm a big Nestle fan. I like him a lot. He seems to be very, very motivated, like I said, coming into this tournament, and I think that TK and FaZe will make it, you know, out of this group. Next group we're going to have is actually Group C, which is going to be Elevate, Epsilon EU, Rise Nation, and IGI Esports. Now, first thing we have to talk about is obviously Elevate, first on our list, and they're actually going to be combining with Denial for this tournament. For those who don't know, Slacked, Classic, Replays, and Slasher. Slacked and Classic have Saints, and they also have TJ on the roster. Saints isn't allowed to travel out of the country, and TJ is not old enough. By the way, this is an 18-plus tournament for those who don't know. And Denial obviously has 2 underage players in Hook and Temp. The other 2 players will be Replays and Slasher filling in. So it's going to be a combining for this tournament. Like I mentioned, Elevate and Denial kind of coming together and playing under the Elevate team. So, but our next team, Epsilon EU, a very good team. I believe they placed second, or at least tied for first and second. I'm not sure. It was between them and Vitality Storm for that first spot in the Gfinity Pro League. A very good team, I must say. That roster of Epsilon is consisting of Joe, Rated, Reedy, and Madcat. Madcat, a new pickup for Epsilon. I believe Marky B was dropped, and Marky B was a free agent. Then he joined Infused, and Madcat, you know, joined in place of him. So this is a pretty good team. Reedy is one of my favorite players from the EU. I must say, a very, very talented player at that. Madcat is an amazing slayer. We've seen him on TCM. You know, whenever they had, you know, the other 2 European players on the squad before they picked up Teep and Aches. But moving on to Rise, that's going to be Chino, Wheat, Apathy, and Burnsoff. Now, if there's going to be a Dark Horse team in the tournament, I'm definitely looking at Rise to turn a couple heads. Now, I'm a big fan of this Rise team. You know, they've had some, you know, changes in the past. They had like Tej, they had Gunjar on the squad for a while. I think this is a roster that I'm actually happy with for now. Now, I'll keep this in mind. Chino, to me, has an opportunity to kind of be freed up for Slang. Wheats is going to, kind of do well, or he might do bad. I'm not really sure. Wheats is kind of like a streaky player at times. I've seen him have, like, amazing tournaments where he, like, literally cannot be stopped, and I've also had tournaments and watched him play, and he's just been kind of silent. He's kind of went under the radar at times. But the new pickup of Apathy and Burns off. Apathy used to be on Elevate. Burns used to be over on Orbit, so I think, honestly, adding these two players is going to be great for their team. Burnsoft, to me, is a player who can literally do it all. Apathy is such a talented SMG slayer that he can really do a lot of work through the map also. So I think that this Rise team might turn a couple heads. I think they could be a dark horse team that kind of goes under the radar. You look at Rise, and you look at their placings, and you're like, well, they haven't done well at all in the previous events at AW. Why should we worry about them now? And I think that could kind of play in their favor, being looked at as a team who might not actually be a good team and might come out and surprise a couple teams. So I think that Rise has an edge against the competition in some ways. Now, I was actually getting ready to make my prediction. I was like talking about it. I was like, wait, I don't actually know what team I actually think could maybe make it out of this pool. To be honest, I really think that Rise is going to make it out of this pool. I'm very confident in this team. Epsilon, also a very good roster as well. We've obviously seen teams in the past who are from the UK do better at teams, or do better at lands on their home turf. So that's definitely going to be an advantage for any of these squads that I've mentioned or will mention. But Elevate, they're not a roster that's been together for a long time. They're combining for this event. Out of this pool, I'm going to say that Rise Nation and Epsilon actually make it out. I know that might be a little bit surprising to a couple people, but Rise to me, like I said, my dark horse for this tournament, I think they're going to do work. So out of Group C, I'm going to say it's going to be Epsilon and Rise Nation. Now for Group D. The teams in Group D will be consisting of Optic Nation, Vitality Storm, TCM Gaming, and Spirit Gaming. So I believe Spirit Gaming actually came in first in the Gfinity, was that the championship division, I think? So out of the kind of the unknown teams, I guess you say, for me, they're definitely the best out of those. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how they play in this one. This one can honestly be between three teams, looking at TCM, Vitality, and Optic Nation. We all know the Optic Nation roster. I think everyone kind of knows that team. It's Imbos, Ricky, Miracles, and Mochilla. To be honest, I think that Optic Nation has a very good chance of making it out of this pool. I think they've kind of got down their squad. It takes a little bit of time to really nail down your entire team. I think they're at that point that they kind of realize this is our team, this is how everything is going to work. I think they're finally, moving on all cylinders, I guess you could say. Next, we have Vitality Storm, who I believe plays first in the Gfinity Pro League. That roster is consisting of Tommy, PD, Josh, and Watson. Yeah, that's the roster. I was just making sure in my head. That is the roster for Vitality Storm. A very good team, I must mention. And like I said, maybe that the European teams will have an edge out on the American players coming over. TCM, that team is consisting of Moose, Jerd, Aches, and TP. TCM is a very, very well-known team to come out of the EU. But there was one time, I believe they were beating a certain team. It might have been like VVV or someone, and they were playing against them. And I remember Aches was calling out, and he was like, hey, don't get kills, or don't get time in the hard point. I want to literally slay them out as much as we possibly can. And so Jerd was like jumping up and down in the hill, trying not to grab time, and just killed them all. Like it was like a bloodbath, but still, I love the pairing of Aches and Jerd. I don't know why, I just really like those two together on a squad. Personally, coming out of this pool, I definitely have Vitality Storm making it out of this one. I think honestly they're such a good team, and I think being in the EU will definitely favor them. For Group D, I'm going to say that's going to be Vitality Storm and Optic Nation. I think the lineup will really come down to Owen versus TCM. Maybe we'll see TCM come out on top. I'm not sure. They definitely have the capability of doing so, but I'm definitely going to say that Owen makes it out. So out of each group, from Group A, I have Optic Gaming and Team Envy making it out. From Group B, I have FaZe Clan and TK making it through. Out of Group C, I have Epsilon, EU, and Rise Nation. And from Group D, I have Optic Nation and Vitality Storm. So now that we have all my placings out of each group, I'm going to give you guys my top 8 for this tournament. All right, now that I have my top 8, I'm not going to be super detailed with all my picks because I kind of went over each squad in particular when we went through all the pools and stuff. Coming in 5th through 8th, I'm going to have TK, Rise, and Owen. Both good teams, but I don't think they're going to make it too far. 4th, I'm going to have Envy. I think Envy's a very talented team. I think they're really good. But in 3rd, I'm going to have Vitality Storm. Coming in 2nd, I'm going to have Optic Gaming. And in 1st, I'm going to have FaZe. I'm just saying that these two teams are definitely higher above than anyone else. And based on what I saw at Dallas, I think that FaZe is playing a little bit better than Optic Gaming for right now. So we'll see what happens later on. We'll see if my predictions ring true. If they do, congratulations to me. But also leave your predictions down in the chat. You can be your top 8 or even your top 5 or your top 4, and I'll take a look at those. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and make sure to stay tuned for all kinds of videos getting ready to come up. And like I mentioned, if you missed it, make sure to leave a game that you want to see me play down in the comments as well. I'll be taking a look at those. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys later. Have a great tournament. Have fun watching this weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.